Welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot extraordinaire, and your local witch next door. And today I'll be talking about the Ten of Pentacles. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. If you love the show, the best way to support it is by listening daily, leaving a review, and subscribing or following in your chosen podcast app. For monthly hangouts, tarot Q&As, individual readings, and more, you can join the Everyday Tarot Patreon family. If you're local to the greater Puget Sound area, you can join me in person Monday, May 12th from 4:45 to 7 p.m. at the Sumner Library for a potluck and creating your own tarot cards. I will bring all the crafting supplies and we'll talk tarot and craft together. You can find the link to find more information about that and RSVP in the show notes. If you'd like to be the first to hear about any upcoming events, presentations, and more, you can sign up for my weekly newsletter. When you do so, you'll also get my free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you at the beginning of this year when you sign up. If you don't already know, I'm a sex and relationships therapist, seeing clients virtually all over Washington State. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients who might be struggling with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex. If you're interested in working with me, you can go to my website, CamilleSaunders.com, to book a free 20-minute consultation to make sure we're a good fit to work together. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleSaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull in each episode. So welcome to Season 7, where we're talking all about the Suit of Pentacles. If you haven't listened to my other seasons, you can check those out. In Season 1, I talked tarot basics. In Seasons 2 and 3, I went through all the major arcana and the 4 suits. Season 4, I talked tarot and pop culture. Season 5, I went into 13 common tarot spreads, and Season 6 was all about the Suit of Wands. So like I said, we're in Season 7, talking about the Suit of Pentacles. If you want to hear an episode dedicated to an overview of the whole Suit of Pentacles, you can check out Season 3, Episode 13. And today we're talking about the Ten of Pentacles. So some images or symbols associated with the card are legacy, wealth, completion, accomplishment, and coming full circle. I'm looking at 3 of my Ten of Pentacles from 3 different decks right now. And I'm going to take a look in the guidebooks to see for a little bit of elaboration on what those are about. So in the Desert Illuminations Tarot, the card depicts 2 aliens like on a road trip. And in the background, we see like a mountain, and then we see this large like cosmic rainbow spiral with all these cactus in it. So in this deck, the pentacles are depicted as cactus, and then we see like some UFOs, almost as if they're being sucked into this like spiral here. So it says, an alien couple driving down a desert highway without a care in the world. A giant rainbow of UFOs spins into a vortex up into the starry sky. There's a sense of freedom and excitement for the future. The Ten of Cactus is a highly positive card. It represents achievement, success, sound investments, and commitment. You don't have any more wants or needs. You are content with everything you have. You can rest easy and enjoy the ride because your secure life is sustainable and you've worked hard to build a solid foundation for your future. Celebrate this time surrounded by loved ones, trustworthy relationships, and family. You are seen as the ultimate provider in your life. Now you can sit back, relax, and cruise the cosmic highway of the good life. So if we think about the minor arcana suits as like a microcosm of, or like an example of what happens in the major arcana, where you have this journey from the Fool to the World at the end. So in the suits, we have Ace to 10 is sort of its own journey. So the Ace is sort of the beginning of the journey, and the 10 is also often about this completion energy, even though we kind of have the Page, Knight, Queen, King ones after. the 10 is often seen as that like completion card. One of the other cards I'm looking at is the Ten of Pentacles from the Anima Mundi deck. In this one, what's depicted is a red wolf and like 2 or 3 of its babies on this card. The pentacles in this, right? Pentacles are that earth energy, that groundedness. So wolves, right, are an animal. They're very grounded. They dig. They run on the earth. And all this thing, but it says you've worked hard for a long time, and through all the struggles and setbacks, you finally accomplished. So you've accomplished those goals. You've now reached a state of contentment. This also means you're able to turn your attention towards your family. You're now able to provide for them and do your part to ensure their bright future. And then the final card, I'm looking at the Goddess of Love Tarot deck by Gabriella Herstick and illustrated by Julia Popescu. And in this one, the Ten of Pentacles here, we have a lot depicted on the card. There's these green emeralds, there's roses, there's like a snake sort of winding in the middle, and then we see this sort of depiction of the like symbol for women, the like circle with like the cross thing at the bottom. And we also see this sort of Ten of Pentacles like over top of it, like mirroring that image here. And so it says the Ten of Pentacles is associated with Mercury in Virgo. It's the last of the minor cards, a microcosm version of the world and a vision of enchantment grounded in the earth. It's the blessing of all the work you've done to get wherever the hell you are right now. Look around to see the sacredness in what you've manifested. This card exposes you to the truth of the magic in the material and mundane. It's about material successes, but also legacy. Consider how you'll take what you've grown and gained and pass it on, sharing the prosperity with those you love, the earth, and future generations. You want to ensure wealth for the spiritual ecosystem of which you are a part. I love that, and it is this very like grounded energy. In the Library of Esoterica, Tarot book by Tashin, they talk about that the Ten of Pentacles is all about that inner and outer wisdom and coming full circle. The Ten of Pentacles signifies success, security, and affluence attained through diligence and value in tradition. In the Tarot and Astrology book, they affirm that it's associated with Mercury in Virgo. Virgo or Mercury is that messenger planet. They come bearing messages from the outside world. And they talk about that wealth isn't just monetary. True wealth refers to several forms of currency: happy family relationships, boundaries, a comfortable, organized, and efficient home, and money for both needs and wants. Each generation has its own space, delineated by clearly defined boundaries in the card. The walls and arched doorways symbolize a certain recognition of each person's need for privacy and respect. Sometimes it shows 2 dogs that are on the card, sort of at the front there, and they say that the 6th house is the house of pets, because caring for pets is a duty and responsibility that must be managed on a daily basis. The Golden Dawn designers of this card called Mercury in Virgo the Lord of Wealth, because it is this fullness and richness of a life well lived. In tarot, the Ten of Pentacles often represents wealth, business success, inheritance, and multi-generational family relationships. The people in the card enjoy each other's company. They're prosperous, and not just in material terms, but spiritually and emotionally. And in the Fearless Tarot book by Elliot Adam, they talk about that, this card's all about legacy, that tradition and family, leaving the world a better place than you found it, thinking about your personal legacy, what you're leaving, what do you want to leave, where does the best part of yourself shine through, and how can you ensure that your light continues to shine after you are gone. The Ten of Pentacles asks you to look at your progress towards your larger goals. The legacy you're establishing will remain long after you're gone. It also asks you to place focus on your family or community, reconnecting with those folks, sharing the love with them, releasing or resolving any squabbles or arguments, forgiving, and sort of balancing this idea of that every person has, right, a mixture of like strengths and weaknesses, and that no one has a perfect family. It says the Ten of Pentacles assures you that what you invest your energy in now will create results well into the future. When this card appears, your life is becoming more secure. There's no need to fear the future when this card appears. Keep an eye on the long game and be patient. Which I love to hear that, right? Thinking about the long game, trajectories, again, that sort of legacy. In the Jessica Dore book, Tarot for Change, they talk about that the card depicts this ecological notion of the soul. They share that so the name Anima Mundi, which I actually am using a deck called Anima Mundi, is this idea of the world soul. So instead of just thinking of the soul existing within a person or human in the human body, the soul is woven through every living thing and therefore something we all exist inside of. And that this card is all about that, right? We often see this tree of life depicted or different things here on the cards as being this like force. It says the Ten of Pentacles to me seems to be like the lesser secret, the most closely corresponds to the greater secret of the world, one in which, having transcended the way of seeing in terms of pairs or opposites, self and other, individual and collective, internal and external, there's diversity, plurality, and the overwhelming experience of connection. So let's dive in and see what the cards have to say today on this topic. I'm going to pull from my newest deck, the Citadel, a Fantasy Oracle by Fen Inkwright. I'm going to give it a quick shuffle here. And I'm sort of thinking about, how do we create the legacy that we want to leave behind? What does that look like beyond the traditional ideas of family? But also thinking about like the planet, right? What we create and how we leave our mark on the world and sort of how we impact other people. And I pulled the Poet in reverse. And it says the Poet is all about relationships and vulnerability. So I'm going to look that up real quick. Poet. Okay, it says reversed. This is an isolated poet, a poet who's been so careful to protect their heart that no one knows who they truly are. But vulnerability isn't something to be afraid of, rather a sign of being alive and of having things that are important enough to risk losing. Rather than letting yourself feel distanced and socially unsupported, it's time to reach out or to try to meet new people. So this is also alongside of that idea of community, right? Like, what is our legacy? Who do we want to be in community with? What does that look like with other people? What does that look like with our family or chosen family? And also, what does that look like in how we interact with the non-human aspects of the world, right? With things in nature, with the land, with buildings or structures or just other sort of things that we have here on earth. How do we commune with that? How do we be in relationship with that? And how do we embrace our own and other aspects of vulnerability instead of maybe shying away from that or trying to hide it? All right, so thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Links for the tarot decks will always be in my show notes and on my website. If you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday to Friday for all of 2025. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.